Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 10 Soviet destroyer, Khabarovsk. He has 22,500 health, a top speed of 45.1 knots, 8 130mm guns, 10 torpedoes, a surface detect of 8.7 kilometers, and 54 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main armament, improved aiming accuracy, improved rate of fire, reduced the chance of flood and fire, improved acceleration, concealment. For my commander, basic firing training, expert marksman, last stand, superintendent, demolition expert, and advanced firing training. We are on the map too, brothers, and I just want to clear up a range issue. I suggested that there was a range module that you can equip on this. Absolutely not. I didn't really recognize that. At the time, I didn't think I needed like 17 or 18 kilometer range, and I understand why they don't have it. Also, I used a buffed advanced firing training number of 15.2 or 15.5 to a baseline prior to advanced firing training of 11.2. It's not a 4 kilometer range nerf, it's more like 2.5. It's going from, I think, 13.6 to 11.2. So you'll be able to use advanced firing training and get the range back up to its baseline prior to 0.5.12. Which is significant. I mean, there's a big difference between 15 and 13, but not quite as large as I might have suggested. Now, we see the enemy destroyer, enemy Luoyang, and I'm going to engage the target. Now, I just absolutely wreck this guy, and this is a scenario where the nerf would not impact me at all. Absolutely not. Other than the rate of fire nerf. They're also nerfing the rate of fire, which is pretty fair. It's pretty overwhelming just how powerful this ship can be. Now, he's not the only one here. There's another enemy destroyer, and I need to avoid the torpedoes. And that's exactly what I do. There's 2 smoke pods out there. There's clearly 2 sources of smoke and torpedoes, theoretically. We need to be careful. I don't want to be scouted. My concealment is terrible. It's basically a light cruiser. So I'm going to send my torpedoes against the Degrosa. And I don't want to engage me, so I'm going to hide behind the islands. And we set them on fire. Great. Now, is he going to be aggressive and put the fire out? That is what I hope for. You got a pretty good chance of it being 50-50, surprisingly. It's very surprising how many people just play the game, or play any game, and not put any extra research. So it looks like this guy recognizes that one fire is not a big deal, so he's going to let it burn. This is what you're supposed to do, I think. I think it's the right course of action, but we are not detected. I'm about to say detected. We are not detected, because a combination of islands and smoke, it looks like our smoke did dissipate. So they do have a line of sight or something. I can't really question it. Maybe there's a destroyer that's down that corridor a little bit. Now, we set him on fire twice. The fire did not stick twice. He is still immune to fire. He has chosen to use his damage control, and this one might actually stick. It looks like it has, and we'll be able to confirm it in the top right corner. Yes, indeed, we are on fire, burning the target down. The team has taken D successfully. It looks like it's a pretty fair fight on the western flank. It's about, 6 enemy ships, give or take, against, 5 on our team. So there's a lot of unknowns out on the eastern flank. I believe there's at least 2 destroyers, if not another one. There has to be another battleship, and we can sort of see there is a battleship all the way at A8, very far away. Enemy Shimakaze shows up, absolutely terrifying for the Shimakaze. I'm going to engage the Shimakaze, and while we're doing this, another enemy destroyer shows up, and I decide, you know what? It's easier to take out the 3,000 health, so we try and fire. The friendly Bismarck doesn't look like he's going to have a good day. He's turning directly into the enemy Shimakaze torpedoes. Can he avoid him? I don't think so. And we got an island in the way. And oh boy, just dreadful, massive amount of damage. He floods out, and well, who put that there? Who puts islands in the middle of an ocean? I mean, come on. This is just, whoa, this shouldn't happen. Thankfully, I have improved acceleration, so the first 6 knots, plus or minus, I get a little bit of boost. So I can get off of an island rather quickly and continue on my way. It would appear to be the perfect Notser module, and I really wish I didn't have to make use of it so much, but I just try to get every ounce of the ship, and I wait until the absolute last minute to pull off, and most of the time, it doesn't work out. So, there was a Shimakaze, we did pretty good damage. The De Grossa is still fairly healthy. Enemy Yamato is also basically full life. It's really funny how far back the enemy Yamato went, but that's not going to save him. Now, even now, I would still be viable. Oh, never mind. Screw the battleships. Look at what we got here. We got a friendly going into the mouth of hell against a Fletcher, and the Japanese, not really particularly good gunfighters, so we need to assist, and I made a conscious choice to try and protect my teammate. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because I don't think that's actually how it's going to work, hopefully the game recognizes that this is a choice that needs to be made, and it is a team-oriented choice. Want to avoid the torpedoes, of course. That would be really stupid. And I'm basically sliding myself into the battleships. I am fully aware of this, and I don't care. I'm just trying to help keep this guy dead. Come on, friendly. You gotta survive. We're doing everything we can. It looks like the combination of me popping my smoke and the friendly dying hides his vision, but I am still able to blind fire and take him out. And look at this guy. He is within 6-kilometer ranges of my torpedo boat, and I'm a torpedo boat around 10 to 5 kilometers. I would say that's a good range. It's especially really good when the battleship happens to be 5.5 kilometers, showing a perfect broadside, slowing down. It's the little things in life that you really cherish when given an opportunity to send torpedoes against a broadside battleship. So of course we lead him a little bit. I swap to AP, I leave the safety in the smoke, and some of you go, why would you leave the safety in the smoke? Well, I want to distract him. I want him to see me. I don't want him to pay 100% attention to angling. And just look at how much AP damage we do in a broadside. 6K, 5K, 3K, tons and tons and tons of torpedoes are going to hit the target. 4 torpedoes, 5 torpedoes. We cause a flood. And we are continuing to fire on his broadside. And oh, look at where his guns are pointing. It takes a really, really long time for the Yamato to turn his guns. And here they go. Okay, we got to try our best to avoid the shot. Oh, 7,400. That was a really good damaging shot from him. I honestly should have played it better, but I don't know what else I could have done. He's got my propulsion knocked out a little bit, so I'm a little sluggish. And yeah, what is this? Secondaries are on me? Why aren't you on the enemy destroyer that's right next to him? I guess it's just, oh, take care of Notser Day. So we're going to take care of this guy. Fire broadside target. He's angling a little bit. I try to keep it on the superstructure, but eventually I think that HE's going to work out better. Especially when you see just how many ricochets and how thin he's getting. Hitting guns, you name it. We really are not doing as much damage as I would like. Come on. Just go HE Notser. It's going to work out better for you. Come on, I know he wants to do it. There goes a ricochet. Oh, are we going to run into an... Where did this come from? I can't believe there's another island on this map. It would appear that he actually turned back into a broadside. Well, who needs to swap ammo, right? So, in hindsight, you want to fire HE when he's neutral, bow or stern on. When he's broadside, obviously, AP is the way to go. It's going to get you the most consistent damage. It's the perfect ammo to be firing right now, and he doesn't want to die. He used his heal a little bit to compensate, and we are just barely missing the point. There we go. Finally, he's dead. He fires on my ship. I'm going to try and avoid it, and of course, wouldn't you know it, the HE disperses into the water. The enemy Yamato is barely alive, but he is alive. We've only done 162,000 points of damage. It's pretty fair, right? But there's not really a situation where the nerf is that impactful other than the rate of fire nerf. The range, everything has been well within 13.5. And I was happy to see that after the fact. It's so easy to just be cruel to every single change that you might run across, and it's honestly not that bad. The range is not that bad. The rate of fire probably is going to feel a little frustrating, but not too much, not too much. Now, I tried to pop my smoke. I wanted to pop my smoke. But nobody wanted to scout for me, so it was a waste of my time. And there is nothing in the game that tells the player they're doing a great job. There's not going to be any in 0.5.12 either. This is the problem when you add in more team-oriented XP and credit earning potential. You need to communicate that to the player, especially a game like World of Warships, where it's basically founded on the idea that the player gets real-time notification for actions that they take. I get to know when I set the target on fire. I get to know exactly where the shell went. Did it pin, overpin, no pin? I get to know immediately what rewards I earn in the match. But there's nothing that tells me, hey, you're providing spotting information for someone in smoke. You should continue to do this. You're going to get a 1-to-1 XP benefit from the damage they do. There's nothing that communicates that, and there should be. If you want to move it towards a team-oriented game, you should work on adding team ribbons that celebrate the team play. Otherwise, people, they're not going to change the way they play the game, unless, of course, they read the patch notes and pay microscopic attention to every little detail. It's just not going to happen. So I decide, you know what? It's really annoying that the German cruiser is engaging my ship. I'm going to hold my fire. We have an advantage. Why risk the ship? I'm fairly healthy, I would say, but I want to be more healthy if I were to try and take a guy out 1 versus 1. Now, he basically recognized that that is exactly what I was doing. He held his fire as well. Enemy destroyer is trying to capture C for his team. He might bail out and go through the center of the map. That is his prerogative. I am hoping that my team will take him out. As long as he's capturing it, we know exactly where he is, right? We know there's at least one enemy ship on the C point. We also know that there is a cruiser right in front of me, a battleship on the western flank, and some battleship somewhere in the center of the map. You know, the one that was really, really low. I would like to kill him, by the way. And my intent is to move forward. I am not going to open up and engage the enemy rune. Why would I do that? Instead, what I intend to do, and I would like to use my smoke, but nobody's by me to scout this guy out. Instead, I am going to be cheeky, and I'm going to fire whenever there's an island in between my ship and the enemies. But you know what else it does to you, Notser? It denies line of sight. So every time I do this, I can't stop. I have to be the one detecting the ship. This is very frustrating, right? I don't understand it. My teammates are going after the single destroyer. Maybe a little bit of overkill, you know? But we don't really need to do anything. We're going to win the game. The enemy team is the one that has to make a play. And it's so easy, isn't it? It's so easy to say to yourself, man, I need to do something. Oh, that guy got blown up pretty quickly whenever he was visible to my team. But it's so easy to say, I need to do, and again, we do this little cheekiness. It doesn't work out as well as I would like. The enemy Yamato is, I think he's burning down. I think he is burning down. And he can't put it out. He can't stop it. Hopefully he dies. If he does, then the game is basically ours. 986. It should tick over to like 993. And then the game should be over. So what do we learn about the Khabarovsk? Well, it's a pretty good ship, and I think it's going to continue to be pretty good, even with the nerfs. The nerfs are probably just right, shockingly, to bring it in line. It'll still be just hyper dominant against another destroyer, but it just won't quite reach out and touch so many ships. We earn Confederate high caliber, 2 kills, just 2, 205,000 points of damage, a ton of credits, a ton of XP. That's the way I like to see it. We earned 2,669 base XP. The Shimakaze, Yamato, those guys did a great job for my team. Everyone else was basically there, and that's fine. That you don't really need spiffiness. Most of my damage is pretty even. It's pretty evenly spread, and I'm very happy about that. You can make use of a lot. 47,000 in fires, though. That's pretty nice. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Khabarovsk. It's always a pleasure to play this ship. It really is fun, just like the gearing and the Fletcher. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.